welcome to Bible Time with Mrs. Shirley at Walter Hill Church of Christ. Are your feet and hands still? Are your eyes ready to focus and your ears ready to listen to another lesson from God's Word? The more we read the Bible, the more we read the Bible, the happier we'll be. It tells about Jesus and how we can please Him. The more we read the Bible, the happier we'll be. Last week our word was angel, and we said that an angel is a messenger from God. So do you remember the name of the angel that appeared to Zacharias? Gabriel. How did the angel appear to Joseph? In a dream. First, the angel told Joseph not to be afraid to take Mary as his wife. And later in a dream, he told Joseph to get out of the city because Herod was seeking to destroy the child. Let's see what our word is today. I don't have anything in my mailbox. Oh, I see a package down below. It wouldn't fit in the mailbox. Yes, it says to Mrs. Shirley. Let's see what's in this big old tube. There's a word. Geography. So I guess the tube has something in it about geography. Oh, it's a map. Look at that. We're going to be talking about the world, but just a little piece of the world. We won't find the word geography in the Bible. Geography is the physical characteristics of the earth. Can you help me think of what some of those physical characteristics are? There are mountains and valleys and hills. There are grassy plains and deserts. There are oceans and rivers and lakes, places that grow crops well and places that do not. People decide where to live based on those physical properties of the earth. People want to live near where there is a good source of water because we need water to drink. If people live near the ocean or a lake or a river, they might find their food mostly from fishing. Or if people live more in the mountains or grassy plains, they might hunt for their food or plant crops. People decide where to live based on physical features, and God made all of those physical features. There's a song that comes straight from the Bible. Come, let us sing with joy to the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before Him with thanksgiving and extol Him with music and song. For the Lord is a great God, a great King above all gods. In His hands are the depths of the earth, and the mountain peaks belong to Him. The sea is His, He made it, and His hands formed the dry land. Let's do it one more time. Come, let us sing with joy to the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before Him with thanksgiving and extol Him with music and song. For the Lord is a great God, a great King above all gods. In His hands are the depths of the earth, and the mountain peaks belong to Him. The sea is His, He made it, and His hands formed the dry land. Now that you have learned the melody and the words, let's sing it just a little bit faster. Come, let us sing with joy to the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before Him with thanksgiving and extol Him with music and song. For the Lord is a great God, a great King above all gods. In His hands are the depths of the earth, and the mountain peaks belong to Him. The sea is His, He made it, and His hands formed the dry land. Now we've been studying about the life of Jesus, the very early life of Jesus. And where did these things take place? Let's look at my globe and see if we can kind of get an idea of the part of the world these things happened in. This is North America. And we follow it down and we find South America. I live in North America in the United States. right over in here. And if I wanted to go to the area where Jesus was born, I would have to cross a big ocean. All of this is ocean. We find the continent of Africa and Europe. And the area we are looking for is called the Middle East, and it's right in here. Now, this country in the continent of Europe is Egypt. And Egypt is where Moses went to visit Pharaoh, and he rescued all the Hebrew people from Pharaoh. And they traveled across the Red Sea and went into the wilderness to go to the Promised Land. And this area is known as Israel today. It might be easier to look at a map that focuses on just this little spot of the globe. This is the Mediterranean Sea, and here is the Sea of Galilee. This is a picture of what the Sea of Galilee looks like today. Here is the Dead Sea. This is a picture of the Dead Sea today. It's filled with salt water and lots of minerals. In fact, it is so thick that a person cannot sink to the bottom in that Dead Sea. One time I got to go to a hotel near the Dead Sea, and they had a swimming pool filled with water from the Dead Sea. And people could go float in that swimming pool to experience what it would feel like if you were floating in the Dead Sea. So I walked down to the ramp to go into that water, and I decided to try to sit down, see if I would sink to the bottom like I would in a normal swimming pool or in a normal lake. And I didn't. Whoop! My feet just flew up, and I was floating. And in fact, it was very hard for me to stand back up again. What an interesting place this is. The Dead Sea is not drinkable water. People don't live around the Dead Sea with the idea of using that water to water their crops or drink from. They have to get their water from a river nearby that would be fresh water. And there is a river. The Jordan River flows from the Sea of Galilee down to the Dead Sea. The Sea of Galilee has fresh water, and the Jordan River does. The Jordan River flows from the Sea of Galilee down to the Dead Sea. In fact, it starts a little north of the Sea of Galilee, up in the mountains. Nazareth is about right here. Bethlehem is about 90 miles south of Nazareth. It takes me about 15 minutes to walk a mile if I'm going at a pretty good pace. So if I walked for a whole hour, I would have only gone 4 miles. So it would take a long time to walk from Nazareth to Bethlehem like Mary and Joseph did when they had to go there for the census. Remember, they didn't have cars or planes to make quick trips. Jerusalem would be right about here. Now, Bethlehem is only about 5.5 miles to Jerusalem. So after Mary and Joseph had baby Jesus and they went to the temple to make an offering, it would have only taken them an hour or two to walk to Jerusalem from Bethlehem and make their offering, and they would be able to even go home the same day. So let's trace Jesus' early travels. We start in Nazareth, travel south to Bethlehem. Then they traveled to Jerusalem to make the offering at the temple. Then they went back to Bethlehem. The wise men visited them while they were in Bethlehem, but an angel told Joseph in a dream to go to Egypt. So they left Bethlehem and traveled to Egypt. Egypt is a pretty long distance too. The family stays there until Joseph is told in another dream that they could return. And they did finally end up settling in Nazareth. Tell of Bethlehem and Jerusalem, tell of places Jesus used to go. Tell of Galilee and Gethsemane, tell of Jesus, for he loves me so. Bible stories, good for summer, winter, spring, or fall. Bible stories are the best of all. Some of you may have moved from one house to another, or from one city to a new city. There's a lot of work involved in changing when you move from place to place. You either have to pack everything you own and take it with you, or sell your things that you have in one place and then buy something that you will need in the new place. And if you moved to a completely different country, like Joseph and Mary did when they left Israel and moved to Egypt, they would have to get used to the geography of a new land and customs and things people do differently in a new place. But no matter where we go or where we live, what the geography is around us, we know that God is with us if we seek to follow him. Have a good week.